Hey y'all, welcome to Messy Missy Creates. It's Melissa. It's time to make our June journal. Yeah, so I've got my trusty Triscuit box. I can't say it, but I have it. If you've seen me do this once, you've probably seen me do it several times. But last month I changed up a little bit the way I did my papers. I did a little bit more junk journal style. This month I'm going back to my regular papers. I'll show you that in a minute. Really wasn't sure what color scheme I wanted to go with for June. I usually think of blue for June. Maybe because of Flag Day, Father's Day, I don't know. But I just usually think of blue. But, and I had some blue florals and I had blue, some other things, but, let's see. I love colorful. I love anything colorful. And I've always loved a rainbow. Somebody asked me to make these for them, so I did. And I said, well, since I have them, I might as well use them. So, that was a special request, and you'll probably be seeing her use them here shortly. So this was kind of the closest color scheme that I could find in my stash, and I liked, this is not like a vibrant orange or, you know, it's like a muted purple. It's a bolder blue. It's got a little bit of a different red, kind of like this red, and that orange. It's got a greener green than this has in it. But anyway, I thought it was close enough, and it matches this paper that I love. It's just kind of got chevron dots, but it's, you know, multicolored. Well, you can see that. Anyway, so I think I'm going to use this for my outside, and I'm going to use this for my inside papers. Because they really go well together. And here is the numbers and the days of the week. So, and I know that June is Pride Month. So I don't know why I didn't think of doing this sooner, but I didn't. So, but they should be in my Etsy shop when this video posts, I hope. These I've done a little bit smaller. You know, the numbers in the past, I think I keep making them a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. You find a ruler. They were getting upwards of 3.5 inches tall. So these right here are about 2 1/4. Yeah, about that. Yeah, that's about what they are. And then they vary in width, obviously, because, you know, if the ones with 2 2s or a 2.6 is going to be wider than a 1, right? That's just common sense. So anyhow, so let's get started. I'm going to do this start to finish. I'm going to try, so I can't waste any time yammering. So I've got, and I know that there's glares on that, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it except put this box here. I changed over to my June calendar. I am not finished with my May journal, but I'm finished with my May journal, if you know what I mean. No, I'm really not. I'm just, yeah, I had to just put it down so that I don't get behind on June, and I'll go back to that, and I'll do it just a little bit at a time. So, what I'm doing right now, I have my Fiskars heavy duty rotary cutter, and it'll cut through, this is 2 layers of Cracker Box cardboard. And so I just cut off the tops and the bottom. I saved these thinking that I'm going to make tabs out of them. Half the time I forget about them, but, I saved them anyway. So let me cut this bottom part off. I use the family size Triscuit box, which makes about a 9 1/4 inch tall journal, which is the perfect size for me, in my opinion, and for what I do. because my papers, I'm going back to this month. I've already pulled them and folded them, so we save that much time. This is a pen and gear sketch pad from Walmart. The pages are 9 by 12. When you fold them in half, you get a 6 by 9, which is perfect. I've tried, you've heard me talk about this before. I looked and looked until I found a paper that was thin enough and cheap enough and would hold my ink and most of my markers. So that's what I came down to. It's like $4 for 50 sheets. So this one I just either cut open or open up, however you want to do it. And you can open it up. The reason why I don't open it up before I cut it is because then it makes it too tall this way for me to cut the tabs and stuff off. Let's see. I thought I found one without any ink spots, but I'm going to have to get after my husband because he has been crumpling up the boxes a little bit or buying bent up boxes. I don't know which. And it took me several of them to find one that I could use that the corners weren't all bent up. So what I'm doing here is I'm lining up. I lined up this. Hold on. Time out. Time out, time out. Okay, let me do it this way. I'm going to line this front seam up at the 6.5 inch. And I know you probably can't see it, but it's this line right here. I don't think I can get this thing any more in frame than it already is. Anyway, I want the cover to be 6.5 inches. So I measure from there, then I flip it over. We're going to ignore this seam right here. If you've been with me a while, you know this already. So now I'm going to put this at the, I'm not going to go all the way to 7 inches. That makes a gap in my spine, and I don't want that. What this will end up doing is I'm putting it at 6 3/4, which gives me about a 1/4 inch spine, right? Because I want the cover to be 6.5, and then another 1/4 inch gives me 6 3/4. At least per my journal math. Okay, and then once again, I did not get out my scoreboard. I thought I had everything out this time. I don't think I did. Let me see, because I need to, where's my bone folder? I'm going to flatten this one because we're going to ignore it. If you put cardstock on top of it, front and back, it'll firm it up and you won't even know it's there. Now, the paper that I'm using this month is not that thick, so we might see it a little bit, but I make sure it's on the back cover, so it doesn't ever bother me. Now, it used to be that I didn't make a spine at all, but I've gotten where I have started to, and what I really need right now is my scoreboard, and I forget to get that out every time. And let me see if I have it over here. Give me 1 second. Nope. Nope. Okay. So one of y'all told me this one month when I was struggling because I had forgotten my scoreboard. And there's a ridge right here. So what I can do, the only thing is it's really hard to get it. It's hard to get it lined up right there because it's hard to tell where the 6 and that's 5.5, I guess, and then that's 6. Let's see. 1, 2, that's a 1/4 inch, that's a 1/2 inch, 3/4. So I think that crease is actually at the 6 inch mark from the cut from the blade. So what I think I want is, well, it doesn't have to be perfect, thank goodness, because it's not going to be. Let me see where that is. Yeah, I think that that's as big of a spine as I want. I mean, I would like, in theory, I would like a little bit like I like the 1/2 inch spine. But, let's see, now I'm checking at the 6.5 inch just to make sure that my back cover, and it should be. Okay, so I'm going to fold this where I just scored it. I don't know if any of that made sense to you or not, but, you know, ideally I'd had a scoreboard where I could have measured it and all that good stuff, but we're improvising. I own a scoreboard. It's tucked away in a drawer, and I would create an avalanche right now trying to get to it. So we're not going to. Okay, I think I'm done with the big cutter. And, whoops, sorry about that. Cutter fell over. Okay, so I did pretty good on measuring that because my covers are pretty even. So this is going to work just like this. It gives me just a little bit of overage on the top and bottom, and it gives me plenty of room. It gives me about 1/2 inch, because see, when you put papers all together, I'm putting 16 pages in one signature, which is way more than you would normally put, but that's what I do because it's my monthly calendar. If I was doing it for somebody else, I probably wouldn't, because you see, as you go in, your pages, though they start off the same size, you see that they're not all going to fit neatly in that spine. The thicker that you make this, the more they stick out. But I make my journal cover 1/2 inch more. That covers if I want to hang something over the page, if I want to put a tab. It's not all the way out of my book. I mean, I can make it all the way out if I choose to, but anyway, so that's my thought process on that. So now we just need a cover and an inside. So instead of, see, it wouldn't work for me to do that right there. So what I do is I cut the paper in half, and then I'll line it up to the outside cover. I used to fold it in half. I used to at 12 inches, fold it in half, and just use one 12-inch piece of paper. But when you do that, if you glue anything over the spine, whether it's fabric or paper, you've got to let that really dry almost overnight before you fold it. Otherwise, you're going to crinkle your paper there. So the way that I got around that, or the way that I found around that, was just to cut the paper in half. And let's see, that should be, it should always measure it, because sometimes it give you a little bit more than 12 inches, but they didn't. It's right at 6 inches. So I'm just cutting it in half. And if your paper is directional, then that will matter what you do. So I might as well go ahead and cut this while I have it out. I'm cutting this little border off of it. I think there was a video that I haven't posted yet. I posted it. I thought it was going to post while I was gone, and then something happened and changed my mind. It was going to be a series. So you might one day get an older video that I talk about going out of town, and you're like, wait, what? Didn't you already do that? So, but it was a journal that I was started making for my daughter, and I got in a little deeper with it than I intended. Meaning it was going to be a little more complicated than I could finish. I was trying to finish it before I left for my trip, and I didn't get it finished. Didn't get it anywhere close. Because as it turns out, it's going to end up having to have like 9 signatures, and so that was just more than my brain could handle and try to leave town. So I honestly thought that I would finish it while, you know, because she was supposed to come back here with me. And I honestly thought that I would finish it while she was here, or, you know, when we came back. And that ended up not happening. So I haven't done anything with it yet. Let's see. So what I do is I glue this all the way up to the edge. And then I trim it on one side. And then that leaves about 1.5 inches, well, 1.25 inches maybe, gap between the 2 pages. Leaves a gap like that. And then my tape, my seam binding tape, or it's not seam binding tape, it's my book binding tape, will go over that. So that's what we're doing. And I'm using my big glue stick just to cover some ground in a hurry. And anyway, what are you doing for a June journal? I made the decision in the last video, if you saw the last video, I made the decision to, you know, kind of get the stuff on the right days, you know, because I was so far behind for May. And I'm tired of being behind. So I made the decision to just kind of put that one down for the time being, and I will finish it as I go. And anyway, start fresh with June. Well, we are going out of town on one just like weekend trip this month. But it shouldn't be anything that I get way behind. You know what I mean? I do need to reinforce those corners, I think. Well, darn it. I got glue on my... It's alright. It's alright. I suppose. Okay, so I need the glue to go up to about almost to that I right there. Almost to that A. So that way I don't get too far over on my gluing. What did I say right here? Yeah. Up to the I and up to the A. I want to get it right up to that line though, so that it's, you know, covered in glue. So are you doing, you making yours this month? Or are you doing a junk journal style? Are you doing more of a, I hate to use the term clean, although I do kind of consider this to be clean in a way, because it's scrapbook paper, and it's starting off with white paper. And so it's, you know, you got to do a little bit of work to junk it up, right? Or, excuse me, decorate it. The reason why, there's 2 reasons. I'll be honest, 2. One, because it is the last minute. I did not pre-plan this journal. So so that I don't start off behind, I decided to just use the plain white paper instead of trying to go through and hunt book pages and different things, because that takes a little bit more time. Well, it's pretty glued on there. It's not exactly straight, but it will have to do because it's on there. Instead of, I trim that instead of cutting. I don't know where my other piece went. Oh, I see it. Because if you measured it, one, you got to be precise, and then you got to line up all 3 sides perfectly. Instead of the way I do it, you only have to line up 2 sides. Okay, I've got glue all over my little background here, my calendar already, and I'm about to put, because there's extra glue right there. Let me get my inside pieces. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it like that. I don't really think it matters. And I want to make sure I'm not putting any more glue on my front cover. So I'm trying to get clean because I know I had glue on my calendar. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm not getting glue on the front cover of my book. And glue sticks right here. Once I put the tape on, it'll cover that extra glue. But in the meantime, you know, just take a second for it to dry. Yeah, so, oh, here's the reason number 2, and this was one of the main reasons. I mean, yeah, it would have taken me longer to find other papers, but this was quicker. But the other reason, and the one I'd like to think is the main reason why I went back to my just plain white papers this month, is if you watch Allison at AJ's Inspired Life, you'll know that she is doing a challenge, an item of the month challenge. And I had planned to participate last month because it was, the item of the month was punches, paper punches. And I have several of those, and that would have been fun and should have been easy. Nothing was easy in May. So I didn't end up getting to, oh, I got glue all over my journal, even though I tried so hard not to. Maybe one day I should put the inside papers on first. What do you think? Anyway, so if you've watched her, she pulled her item for this month. And this month is stencils. So I do have stencils, and it's a way of inking in decorating my pages instead of doing the ink smushing or whatever. I can just use a stencil and the ink or paint or whatever. So I used some stencils when I did the jelly plate, so I could use some of those pages. But I thought if I started with plain white paper, then maybe it would encourage me to do that challenge along with her. And I mean, it's an open challenge. Anybody can do it. So she did do the drawing like yesterday or the day before. And so she does it in time. And what she says is that she's drawing it ahead of time because it would change or could potentially change the way that she makes her journal. And so now I see why. Because it even changed the way I made my journal. Because I did enjoy having that junk journal style last month. But I can always add flips and tucks and pockets in. They don't have to start off sewn in, if you know what I mean. You know, so you can always just add those in after the fact. And sometimes when I sewed them in, some of them were on days that I didn't really need extra stuff or extra room, but some of them came in handy. Some of the pockets and flips and stuff came in handy because I had a lot to put on some of the pages, and I knew that when I was making the journal. So yeah, I like to think I planned it that way. There we go. And I'm going to use one of these. Probably use those. Oh, that has a big old glue booger on it. Probably use one of those for a pocket. I did not pick out washi. I did look through my ribbon. Yeah, I could make this pocket a little wider, but I think I'm just going to stick with this because I like the colors in it. And yeah, I like it. It's a little bit narrow. It could be a little deeper. Sometimes if I were making it from, you know, a full sheet of paper, I would probably make it 6 by 4, which this is probably like 3. And then I typically will push the top pieces together, and it makes that buckle a little bit so that you can fit more stuff in it. I haven't been using the back pocket, so I just haven't even been putting it in there. At this point, well, I did just commit to this shoot. Okay. Darn it. All right, this was my back cover. I did not check. This was supposed to be my front, but it's okay. It's upside down and backwards, but we're going to roll with it. The only thing is now you're going to see that. I will see it. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I think you can. That line right there. I wasn't even thinking when I put down the pocket, but there it is. Okay, so now I'm going to use this, and I typically, yeah, that really, that's all right. It's all right. Okay, so normally I would take my calendar off at this point so that I'd have a non-stick surface. Alrighty. I need to clean this off anyway, because what I do is I stick this down, and the idea is so that you get it on straight. I very seldom ever get it on straight anyway. This is not actual bookbinding tape, although I'm guessing that it probably feels like it. It's actually like sports paper tape. So I just tape it up there, and I can kind of eyeball it and think I have it on straight, and then it does at least cover. When I make the spine a full 1/2 inch, I leave a gap right here, and you've seen me struggle with that a little bit. You know, I just cover it up with ribbon. It's not really a struggle, but I've got yucky on my bone folder. Man, this is sticky stuff too. Darn it. Okay, let me get this side stuck down before it decides to pull any shenanigans like this one is. There we go. Okay. And though it's not straight, it looks a little straight. So in order to hide this, I'll put washi tape down. Now, I don't know, and I can do this part later. Yeah, let's get it bound in and then figure out what washi tape we want. Because I don't know right off the top of my head what I would want. I don't know if I'm going to want a solid or something colorful. And just get that to bend back again, and there we have our cover. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Now I've got calendar pages everywhere. Let me put that back on here. There we go. If you have a mess, just put your calendar on top of it. There we go. That'll work. Works for me. Okay. The other one wasn't full at all, but this is a current year calendar, so I'm trying to keep current because I've been doing a little bit of jotting down on what days I've done certain things. What am I doing? Here's my paper. I need a pokey tool. And I do believe it's right here. And I already have my little clips out. Haven't 100% decided what color. Oh, that one might actually, I might actually like that one. That wasn't my initial plan, but I just kind of held it up to it. I kind of like it. But I'm going to get my pages like, you know, as tucked in as I can get them. As straight as I can get them, top to bottom. And then as centered as I can get them. Top and bottom and side to side. Well, yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. So, there is a little bit of overage. A lot of times I will just I'll put it flush with the bottom instead of trying to center it top to bottom, if that makes sense. So if I go like that, I have extra at the top. Because if I'm going to put a tab somewhere, it's probably going to be at the top. I mean, if it's not on the side, it would be something sticking off the top, not the bottom. I don't know where my big paper clips are. They're probably like right here staring me in the face. But I'm going to use these. I'm going to try really hard not to open this up all the way. Yeah, I ended up getting, even though that was supposed to be my front cover and that was supposed to be the top, I ended up getting glue all over it. So, oh, and then I opened it up. Okay. I'm going to put these over here. There we go. There we go. Now, my pokey tool, and I have, do I know where it is? I don't think I put it back. I don't know that I used it last time. And I'm probably not going to again. Let me find a pencil. It's a red pencil, but that works. There we go. Just trying to get that in as far as I can go. That looks about like the middle to me. I usually do like 1 thumb length, you know, from the top and one like up to the first knuckle kind of thing. I have a little template that I made that, you know, is the size of the papers that you're using. You fold it in half again, fold it in half again. And then you use some of the fold lines to line up. But if you're just doing one signature, you really don't have to like mark like you would in a real junk journal where you're having to have more than one signature. That's the other reason why I stick to one signature. Because I've got this down to about an hour, start to finish, unless I run into some, you know, unforeseen issues. Now, I did think about that color because I haven't been able to use it yet, and I sure do like it. Did I already lose that pretty blue? What did I... Oh, it's in here. Yeah, I was thinking, but I do like that blue. I like this. This kind of matches that red. See, it's not a real red. It's kind of an orangey red. And it might depend on what I'm using for ribbon. I was not planning on using this. as it's not quite the same color, but I have been wanting to use this, and now may just be the time to do it. It looks kind of springish to me. I was thinking I would use a red or a blue, but I'm kind of liking it. What do you think? I don't know if it shows up as true colors. It's a little bit more, it's a little brighter of a color than this, but I kind of like it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm going to go ahead and cut it too. I've been trying to use that. Okay, so let me put all this stuff up since we don't need it. And let me find the end of this. And you want, I'm going to put that to the side for a minute. You want about 3 lengths of your book. 1, 2, 3, and I just do an extra for, you know, because I tie it. I'm not even going to say what I normally say right there. I'm not even going to say it this time. Thank you to whoever reminded me. I'm trying to remember who it is right off the top of my head. Who reminded me to clean my needle. I have not poked my holes yet though. Okay. So what I do is I do it real slow. And yes, I have my finger over it, because I can kind of see where it's going, where it's coming out. Okay. And do it again. Yeah, I had said the last time I made my journal, I had said somebody remind me to clean my needle, and one of you did right after the video, right after I posted the video. One of you said, go clean your needles. So I appreciate it. Of course, it's all gunky again right now. The tape adhesive it's very sticky. Okay, so this is the front, even though I didn't want that to be the front. I got ahead of myself trying to do my pocket and didn't pay attention to front and back and top to bottom. Ooh, that one's going right through. Looky there. We got it on the first try. Can y'all see that? Let's see if I can raise up some of my lights, maybe. I don't know. It always looks dark to me, and then when I play the video back, it looks okay. So I'd quit worrying about it somewhat. So I'm just going... you start from the outside if you want your strings to hang out on the outside. If you want them on the inside, start from the inside. And then you just go, maybe if I wasn't doing that left-handed. You can go top or bottom next. You know what I didn't do? Normally I clip something to there so I don't pull my string through, or my thread through. And if you open the book up all the way, it'll displace where your pages are lined up. So, kind of like I'm doing now. And you really kind of have to go in, really kind of have to. Did that make any sense? You really kind of have to. It's all about angle. You have to go in at the same angle, this way and this way. So if you punch your holes with your needle perpendicular to your table or desk or whatever, then you need to do the same thing when you're sewing. So here we're going back in through, hopefully, and the idea is to go through the same hole without splitting that thread. Let me get my right hand involved. And I think, by George, I think I got it. Maybe. Looks like it. Wow. Okay, and here's where I take all my clips off because I want to tighten the pages and I want them to cinch together. I know not everybody does that, but I do. Because once you have all the holes filled, you're done with, they're held, your pages are all held in place at this point. So unless you untie it or unthread it or string it or whatever word you want to use, then your pages aren't going to move. I mean, never mind. Never mind. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So, and then I'm just tying knots. I think when I pull the thread, it makes the papers tighten up together, like justify them and this, like center them. At least in my mind, that's how that works. So that's why I do it. It makes sense in my brain, which, hey, that's kind of a scary place to be, but it's my brain. So here we go. All right. Now we get to decorate. And when we get to put up our stuff. Okay, somebody remind me to clean my needles. That worked out quite well last time. Thank you. And really just anything like alcohol, like an alcohol wipe or hand sanitizer will get off sticky residue pretty easily from something that's metal or plastic or something of the sort. Okay, so if I use this on the outside, seeing how I used this light blue or this teal, this is like a robin's egg blue. This is more of a turquoise. But I like it. I'm committed at this point. I am going to use Fabri-Tac here. And then we're going to let it dry while we're looking for washi. And I did already turn it upside down. I have not unclogged. So, come on. Well, I thought I unclogged it. Oop. I have another bottle. I have a little bottle, but I was trying to finish this one. Okay, well, that one doesn't want to play. And I'm not in the mood. Whoop, wrong thing. I'm not in the mood to fool with it since I have another option. And this one has a little bit of a narrower, nozzle because it's a smaller bottle. So my plan was I was just going to keep refilling this one. Oh dear, look at there. I got glue everywhere, didn't I? Oh well. There we go. All right. I totally off topic, but while we're looking for washi and I'm trying to let the glue dry, and I need to leave it alone so it can dry. Okay, let me set it off to the side. Oh, I like it. Okay. Washi tape. Now, I have not, how good am I? I'm good on time. Okay. How am I on time is what I was trying to say. So I want to find something that is going to look good right here. So it has to be something that goes with that, you know, that. That actually might work. Wasn't thinking floral. But that certainly has all the right colors in it. Doesn't it? Doesn't have that dark blue, but there's not much of that dark blue on here. It's got all the right colors. Wasn't what I was planning on using for June, but... and isn't quite what I think of as June, but hey. I don't know. It's on there. Yet I will continue to look, as I always do. Other than a solid color, I'm actually surprised that I liked any of the florals. That actually surprised me. So I have more I could dig in, but I think I like this, so I'm just going to stay with it. And it doesn't have any of that navy blue, or it's not really even a navy blue, but it's kind of a darker blue. But it doesn't really matter because the inside pages, it only has that one little strip of dark blue right here. Cut off the excess ribbon and washi all at one time. Yeah, if I find something I like better later, I can cover it up. It just is covering up that little bit of cardboard. And oh, because I don't go all the way in the center, I don't wrap it all the way around. You've heard me, if you've watched me do this before, you've heard me talk about this. You certainly can, and it would make your spine more sturdy, but it also makes it thicker and harder to get through. And seeing how I'm trying to go through 16 pages at a time, you know, I'm not, you know, it's already thick enough. Okay, so I guess what I should add a disclaimer to my videos, my journal making videos, which I don't know that there's any real right way and wrong way to do this. I mean, some people might, uh-oh, it tore. Oh no. Oh dear. That's so sad. That's one of my favorite washies. You know, in the canning world, you know, I don't know if any of you can, like canned vegetables, you know, like pressure can or water bath can or anything like that. If you go against the norm, they call it rebel canning. So maybe what I do is a little bit of like rebel journal making. But it works for me. And why make this part any harder than it has to be, right? It's supposed to be enjoyable. I've got it down to, okay, that took me 48 minutes to start to finish. So, which I had already folded the paper. So that probably added another, you know, 5 or 10 minutes. So, but let's say an hour. And I'm not going to pre-do my page. Ooh, they look bright now. I am going to go through and cut all my numbers out. I'm not going to prep my pages just yet or anything like that. I'll do that in the next video. That's not the days of the week that I'm using with these. Here's the rainbow days of the week. But I love the colors in these. And as it turns out, it's really not quite. This lacks that dark blue. It's okay. It's really okay. I just wanted multiple. I love multicolor. I like a lot of color, and what has more color than a rainbow, right? So, and with it being Pride Month, I wanted to, you know, have that option for people as well, if you want that. And I was making them for a friend. So anyway, I'm going to stop there and keep you. Oh, what I started to say about. Oh, I started to say something off topic. And if you, I think in the last video, you may have heard me mention that I was learning Spanish. I'm on Duolingo. If anybody wants to, if anybody's on Duolingo, and you want to want me to add you or whatever, let me know. Just put in the comments that you're on Duolingo, and I will give you my username, and we can be friends on Duolingo. So anyway, all right, well, that is enough for today, and I hope that you're getting a good start to your June and whatever it is that you decide to use. And I will see you guys in the next video. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.